right. How is everybody? We have a lot of people coming from pretty much everywhere here. So thank you so much for those who've joined from the US, from Europe. I'm a bit sorry, we are Asian here. So we keep you guys waking up late or sleeping late every month for this climate technology presentation. But this is for the good cause. We've been putting that for a while now, and each month we are gathering a lot of interesting conglomerates, VCs, and CVCs to access to deal flow in climate tech. This month we have an amazing stack of 10 companies that we've been selecting over nearly 90 applications. So you have the top 10% of the 90 applications we've received. And yeah, we have a lot of interesting investors in this call. We've got 50 people registering a ticket. With 28 people right now, and I guess a lot of them are in the climate tech space. So feel free to use the chat here to say hello, but also don't forget to interact with everyone else on the Slack group. I think our team have shared with you the Slack group, and this is really where everything is happening. The 10 startups pitching today will be sharing their presentation and other details in Slack on the channel fundraising for anyone with interest to get engaged with more details, maybe have a potential interaction with them. So yeah, everything is happening on Slack. Our team will share the link to the Slack again for those who are missing, and we're gonna get started in a second. Chopper, we ready to go?
Yeah, everything's set. We can start now.
All right, cool. So welcome everybody to Southeast Asia Climate Tech Coalition, and today specifically for our Climate Tech presentation. The Climate Tech Coalition is a small but hungry movement of young people like me and you, committing to influence $1 billion in climate tech innovation, investment, market expansion, and commercialization to build the greener future for the Southeast Asia Pacific region. I'm Djoann Fal. I'm the general partner of Atlas Capital, one of those actors. And with my small fund, Atlas Capital, we've been investing in green tech and climate tech since 2020. You can see some of our portfolio companies here. We have been investing mainly in the US, in pre-seed and seed, built around the built environment and hardware. So we have been doing that with a purpose and a very specific mandate, starting from the realization that we're going from 4 seasons to 2. And with Atlas Capital, we believe it's too late to try to stop climate change. This is time for climate adaptation. So climate adaptation is really much what we focus on. And this is really much where the companies we're looking for are in that vertical of built environment and adjacent. With the coalition and with Atlas, we are aiming to connect regional conglomerates with category-defining North American and European climate tech companies to help Southeast Asia to adapt and decarbonize. You can see some of our team members here, but really there's a lot more to discover, and I'm going to share with you this coalition which we talked about. So why Southeast Asia? Southeast Asia for a few reasons, but number one, because this is an area that makes up for 20% of the world biodiversity, 10% of the world population, and this area also is overseeing 1.2% annual rate of deforestation. 85% of the energy supply in Southeast Asia come from non-renewable sources, and there is a 60% projected increase of CO2 emissions in this region towards 2040. So we believe that Southeast Asia have high potential for climate action, but also is poised to see the effect of climate change the most. So we believe that with this Southeast Asia region, there is an opportunity to not only accelerate its decarbonization, but really bring the best companies in the US and Europe to work with local conglomerates, family offices, and industrial partners to expand their innovative technology to this region before it's too late. We call that the adaptation economy. adapting all these infrastructures to the climate change era and turning those cities and mega cities like Singapore, Bangkok, Ho Chi Minh, Jakarta into climate-proof cities. And this is very much the mandate where we've been deploying our efforts for the past few years. Every company we support is materializing our vision of turning net zero and climate proof. And we use that very small but fun island city as a virtual island to explain what we do. So some of our portfolio companies, for example, have been acting in the building retrofitting using biophilic design, so turning buildings to be better isolated and better energy efficient, for example. More companies we've been investing in have been using decentralized storage of energy to be able to make those buildings energy resilient in case of power outages. Other companies in our portfolio include small nuclear reactor, but also circular recycling, and also net zero agriculture that are in the city themselves. We call that urban agriculture, for example. Anyway, you can see more of these portfolio companies on our website, and I will share a few links in the chat group for you guys to check it out. But enough talked about Atlas. Now we talk about the coalition. So this ecosystem had been funded with a few friends, other venture capitalists in this region, but also in the US and Europe. And we have three things that we give to our members. Number one, we organize a flagship conference in New York City once a year for Climate Tech Week. We just had the last one in September with nearly 200 attendees, 20 speakers, and gathering, very, very large family offices. We had people also representing corporate like BlackRock, Temasek, and a very, very, very big group of interesting participants like Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, for example. We also run that flagship conference in Singapore once a year, and the upcoming one will be in February 2024. And then we organize also monthly networking dinners in secret location across Singapore, Hong Kong, and Bangkok, which are a great platform for entrepreneurs to connect with their friends and their peers, but also for investors to connect with other fellow investors, but also family offices. So this is something you should really check out. We had the last one in Hong Kong 2 weeks ago, and our next dinner will be in Singapore next week. By the way, feel free to hit me up if you're in Singapore next week. And I think some of the people in the call will be attending the dinner, so I'm really thrilled to see you guys face to face. And then lastly, we organize those climate tech pitch presentation or competition where we invite prominent venture capitalists, corporates, and conglomerates, VC arms as well, to just check out what kind of deal flow we have. So this is the three activities that the coalition facilitates. And again, this coalition is a platform that we share with other VCs. So it's not just us, Atlas. We have more than 27 other venture capitalists and conglomerate in that coalition that access to this deal flow. You can see we have a pretty packed even schedule for next year. So a lot of opportunities to meet investors and for other investors to share deal flow with their peers. So definitely check it out. This is some of the example of the events we had, some of the dinners, some of the conferences we had in New York. And yeah, it's a lot of fun, but it's really also great to meet with people who are like-minded, who share the same interest to invest in climate technology and really walk the talk to act for the planet. This is some of our past calls we had. Some of you guys might have been attending already, so you will recognize yourself in the picture. And this is basically the membership price for the coalition. For $1,000 a year per organization, we provide startups with a few quite exclusive perks. Number one, for startups, they get to be listed into our deal flow, which is shared to more than 200 investors who already invested in climate tech and have committed capital as part of this $1 billion. So these are actually legit investors. They know what they're talking about, being angel investors or being VCs, and they are actively looking to deploy their capital. We have also for startups 2 invitations to present your company during that call, just like the one we're having today, over a time of 12 months. And then we also help those startups that are being selected with direct email introductions to investors. And this is something we do really on a case-by-case basis, but that's really game-changing. An example of one company that just had that is a US company called Posh Robotics. We just connected them with a very large conglomerate in Southeast Asia, and they just signed a LOI for a $10 million investment. So yeah, this is just one of the examples. And then for investors that are deciding to partner with us and become member of the coalition, for the same price of $1,000 per year, we gave them invitation to our exclusive investor dinner. But also we help them with a promotion of their fund and our podcasts, which have a visibility into our newsletter with 12,000 followers worldwide. We invite them as speakers to our flagship conference in New York and Singapore. And we invite them as a judge for these monthly calls, but also we give them bi-monthly opportunities to directly invest in startups that we have been suggesting them in our deal flow, either directly or either through SPVs. So that's pretty much about the membership. I hope some of you here will be interested to join us. We really want to help everybody, but our time is limited. We have 24 hours a day and probably a few hours of sleep. So we can only help the ones who are the most real, and this is the price tag that we have decided to put into that to ensure that we work only with very serious people who are looking to get our help. Feel free to scan this link if you want to learn more. And without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and talk about today.